Hi, I'm Damien Roy and welcome on my guitar lesson YouTube channel. Today we're going to work on another theory lesson and talk about chord inversions. So we've already seen what a chord is, how you make a chord, how you build it. You need for a major chord, remember the roots, major third, and perfect fifth. And for the minor chord, the root, minor third, and the perfect fifth. That doesn't change. So here, what are chord inversions? Building a chord is like piling up thirds. So every three notes, for example, of a scale. So, I took this from my daughter. Imagine that you have like 3 blocks of different colors of Legos here. So imagine that the yellow is the root, the blue is the major third, and the orange is going to be the perfect fifth. So what happens, for example, if I move my root here in another area, and then suddenly I'm going to have my major third down. For example, in the key of C, this doesn't mean that I'm going to have an E chord something. If I'm in C, so C, E, G. Okay? So this is what chord inversions are. We're changing places for the different tensions that make the chord. And it's still going to be the same chord. Enough playing now. So how does this work? For example, if I take first exercise here, the C chord. So remember, we're going to play very simply here. I'm going to use my fingers. So C, E, and G. So I have the root on the bass here. It's like the foundations of a house. Remember that. Remember the Legos, the yellow one here. And I have now what we call my first inversion. So what is going to be my first inversion? You often see chords like C/E, C/G. So these are what we call chord inversions. In these cases here, these are chord inversions. So my first inversion, I'm going to take the same notes of my C scale, but the lowest note will be my third. So here it's going to be the note E. So I'm going to place an E as the lowest note here to play. So E, G, and C. But I could also play it like this here, with the low E here. Okay? We're not following exactly the classical rules. Okay? We're following more the modern pop, rock, blues, jazz types of writing here for this chord inversion lesson. So we did the first inversion here, E, G, C. What would be the second chord inversion? So here we'll have our perfect fifth. That's going to be the lowest note in sound. So I'm going to have G, after you can place a C and an E. But the most important is to have your G on the bass with the two other notes here. So second inversion is when you have your fifth on the bass. And we're going to write it down as C/G. Okay, I could also play it like this here, with the low G here. So you have to try different chord inversions and see how it sounds. Let's move on to G major chord example here. So here I'm going to have my G, my B, and my D here. Okay, so root, major third, perfect fifth. For my first chord inversion, I'm going to have my third on the bass. So that bass there is going to be the note B. So this is my first chord inversion, B, D, and G. My second chord inversion will have the note D on the bass. So I'm going to have D, G, and B. So I can play it like that. This is still a G major chord. So I know what you're going to say. Yes, it could be another chord since you're piling up thirds there. That is true, but it all depends of the harmonic context here of the chord progressions. So in this case here, we're working in the key of G. So now what happens if we have a chord with 4 notes? So if we pile up thirds and we have like 4 notes. So let's take the example of F major 7. So I'm playing F, A, C, and E. So here, since we have 4 notes, we have the possibility of having 3 chord inversions. So my first chord inversion will have the major third on the bass, so that's going to be A. So this is my first chord inversion. This is still F major 7, but slash A. So now you can hear the interest of working in chord inversions. You have a new territory of chords that you know, but they're going to give different sounds, and they may be interesting in composition if you're writing music here for different chord progressions here that you want to use for creating songs. Second chord inversion here, I'm going to have my C on the bass, C, F, A, so E, C, F, A, and E. So here, watch out, you're skipping a string here. So that is F major 7 slash C. And my third chord inversion here, I'm going to have the E, my major 7 on the bass here. So E, I'm going to put an A, and I have a C and an F. What matters to me is to have all the components of your chord, all the notes you need, but the lowest note has to be, if you want to be the third inversion here, it has to be the major 7. Let's move on to some minor chords now. So C minor. So we have C, E flat, and G. First chord inversion for the minor chord. It's the same thing you're going to have for playing C minor slash E flat. You're going to have, so E flat on the bass. This is my first inversion. And this is still a C minor, but we have E flat on the bass. Second chord inversion, we're going to have the G here. So I decided to play at a different spot here. So G, C, and E flat. So my G is on the bass. I could also play it like this here. Let's have a look at D minor now. So D minor, I'm going to play my chord really differently from the D minor chord position you already know here. So I have my D, F, and A. Okay, so this is my root here. First inversion, so D minor slash F. I'm going to have so F, A, and D. Or I can play it like that. This is my first inversion of D minor. My second inversion here, D minor slash F. We're going to start with the A, D, and we have the F here. So you know that chord position here because you're adding your string 4 here as the root. But here I'm targeting the A, the F, sorry, so D minor, yes, I'm going to have my D minor slash A here. And I could play it also like this here, which sounds much more better on guitar. Let's move on to another minor chord, but this time with 4 notes here. So we have A minor 7 here. So I'm going to play, I decided to play here like this here. So I have A, C, E, and G. Okay, so I pile up 3 notes, thirds. My first chord inversion here, so we're going to have three chord inversions. My first chord inversion here is going to be, so the A minor 7 slash C. So we have, so here we're going to have here, watch out your fingering. So A minor 7 slash C, my C is going to be on the bass. My second chord inversion here, I'm going to have the E on the bass here. And I still have all the notes of my A minor 7. So A minor 7 slash E. And the third chord inversion here, so it's going to be A minor slash G. So here I'm going to have G, C, and after I'm going to play G, C, E, and A. And there you can play it all kinds of ways on the guitar here. I hope you enjoy this lesson here. Please don't forget to subscribe to my guitar lesson YouTube channel. If you want to have this lesson on PDF here, to have a better look than looking on the screen here and just print it off, please subscribe to my Patreon here. For $5, you can have all the lessons you have in my videos here. Have a good practice.